Hi all, welcome back. I am pretty darn excited about the cover, well, this entire book. As you can see, it is one of the most exquisite antique books I have had. And I was going to save it for next year, but I could not wait. It is this beautiful Jolly Friends book, published in Boston from the year 1900. So it's 125 years old. It's all in its original condition. And I don't have a camera, you can see the gold lines around the little girls and all around the lettering, around the dog, the steps. It is just so pretty. Look at the little outfit on these adorable little Victorian children, because this is an authentic Victorian book. And along the side, I've put a line of vintage beads and some ribbons that beautifully match the colors in here. And I've got this vintage crochet down the side. It's so stuffed, and I really put some extra special things into this journal, some of good value. So it's a keeper. I'm gonna put it in my Etsy shop in a moment. So let's go through it. Reminder, if you're American, there's no tariffs on my journals. They are exempt for now, and I use a courier to get it to you nice and safe and quick. So let's start off here. Here is the original first pages of the book. Now, because it's a Victorian book, I wanted to put in an exquisite Victorian photograph. Look at the corset on this woman. Look at her little tiny waist, her beautiful hair. This dress is amazing. And this is from the 1880s. From Exeter, England, and that is a very, very special, that is called a cupboard card photograph. Now this was actually the original inscription was back here, and somewhere along the last 125 years it must have got passed down and somebody else put their name in, so that's pretty cool. From Sarah for Lawrence. And then this is the original first page of the book here. I want you to see this, it's very beautiful. The mother and Teddy and Tony feeding the birds. And then this is the first page of the book. Now this trim here is about 70 years old, and it is from a little dress. I loved it. I love the staining on it. I love everything about it. I just think it's exquisite. And there's the copyright date there, 1900. I did a little hand stamping there, and I made a pocket here, and I put in here a page from a 1909 book, and this was a cursive writing exercise book. So that is how to practice the letter A and O and C, and then somebody along the line there in the last 120 years put some little pencil marks on there, and I always love it when that happens. And I did a little fun cluster here using all antique pieces. That's a piece of an antique book cover, and then I left some space here for journaling. And over here is an antique book page pocket. And this is all authentic antique ephemera as well, more of that book page. And you can journal on the back. That is a vintage piece of cardboard, believe it or not. And look at this wonderful postcard here. And that is from, is it Pennsylvania, I believe? And that is from 1919. Look at that, isn't that wonderful? And that was written to somebody up in Canada. Now this is from the 1800s, a marbled piece of paper, likely made in Germany because they were the masters of marbling, and it's just beautiful. So you can do fun things with that or just journal on it. Oops, I made that pocket there. And then here is another page from this book. These two little girls picking berries from the tree. And then this is from 1933. And I've got this pocket here from an old book. And then this is just a really fun 1953 magazine page here with just hilarious advertisements on it. Look at this guy. That would make me not want to eat that ketchup. He scares me. But look at this, yum, yum, Jello, coconut bars. It's just a fun piece. I thought you'd get a kick out of that. This is really cool. I like this. I find these often, and I have a few of them for myself, but it's a table of alphabets from all different languages, and I like that a lot. And I refer to mine as well. This is from a vintage Mammals of America book. Got the mountain goat there. And then over here, this is my friend Paige gave me this. It is from the Hotel Washington. Look at the calligraphy on that. That is amazing. This is from 1935, so just at the peak of World War II, or just before the World War II. Cape Elizabeth from Delana Park. And that one is from 1906. Isn't that wonderful? This didn't come in the envelope. I just wanted it to be in the envelope. I didn't want the envelope to be alone. So, but look at that on the back. Isn't that wonderful? A fireproof hotel. It's a good quality to have in a hotel, let me tell you. There we go. I'm gonna put that back in its little pocket that I made with what I call a sweetheart pocket, because it's sort of got that sweetheart cut that you would see in a blouse. Sorry, I don't want to, I'm on a bad angle, so I'll leave that to the side here. And then this is a map from the 1800s as well. Look at that, isn't that stunning? And that is from a French history book. You can see the French up here and down here, but it's quite fabulous. And this is on top of a vintage pastel artwork page. And this, I believe my friend Stacy gave me this one, Vogart Pattern Transfer, Today and Tomorrow's Modern Kitchen. Look at this, isn't that great? And then inside, I'm telling you, this is a good journal. Inside is, I think I left it upstairs on my table. So there's a pineapple tissue that goes in here. Oh no, it's in here, sorry. You'll see, it's coming up. But I just love the graphics on there, and you would have ironed those transfers on and then embroidered over top of them. It's from a 1953 yearbook, and this is the sports page. So we've got, look at these football guys, look at the uniforms. And then these cheesy photographs here, and then over here. Isn't that great? I love it. This is from a vintage research cabinet, an index tab, and then I put this beautiful little baby card inside, and you can open that up and journal inside as well. But isn't that sweet? They took so much care in the little details of the cards back in the 40s and 50s. And then in this little pocket, pretty little pink music sheet here, vintage. Here is a vintage flinch card, a vintage playing card, and an 1890s watchman's dial. When I say watchman, I mean like a guard, a watch guard. And then we've got that old page. Now this here, again, this has value. And this is the Road District Warrant. Again, thank you, Paige, for this. This is wonderful. From Darlington County and Madison County. And it is for $45. Isn't that cool? It's really a fabulous piece. And there's that piece of tissue that goes inside the envelope. I was looking at it and popped it back in this pocket. And this is all on top of a 1900, same year as this book, book on Charles Dickens' children's characters. How fun are those? Love them. A little pressed flower here. And then under here, a little secret journaling spot. And this is from the 1800s, from that pile of books that didn't make it. It's inscribed in 1913. And it's still got the leather on there with the gold embossed inscriptions. Beautiful. And here is a 70s oil painting cover. Look how cool that is. $1.25. And it's just so beautiful. I wanted to tear it apart and use different pieces of it, but I couldn't do it. It's just beautiful all in one. So whoever gets this, you can do that. You can cut these up and have lots of fun with them, collaging, doing your own artwork. A little vintage pocket here on top of the vintage children's page from the 40s. And then this 1950s, more pineapple. Is that cool? Prize tested recipes. Yum, yum Sunday topping. Yum, yum. Here is a vintage flashcard, right? I almost didn't get that one. 3 mom bear and 2 little baby bears there from the 40s as well. And early 1900s thesis, handwritten thesis paper. And this is from that wonderful Coronet 1937 book. And this has got just a stunning building that's all lit up like this. Like, what a great photograph. And this one here, it says man with a cigarette, and I couldn't figure it out because it's woman, but there's the little man, right up there. So it's just a really artsy-fartsy kind of thing for the 30s. I thought that was really cool. This beautiful little darling here is from this book as well. She's got Farrah Fawcett hair. I think she's the originator of Farrah Fawcett hair. Look at that. Isn't she sweet? Love it. And then we've got this kitty cat poem on the other side. So this is a beautiful little image. This is another one of these great pilot's log pages from the logbook from the 50s. And that is from the 40s or 30s. This is a vintage piece out of I think a German book. And then this, I didn't fold this up or do anything with it because it's just a really fun piece that somebody might want to do more with, maybe even glue it in and make it a page in the journal, so I left it alone. And how to make milk, that one's from. And this is a 1937 5-year diary page, May 10 and 11. And that is all inside of this wonderful little vintage children's book page pocket, The Song of Freedom. White sails photograph, and look at this beautiful orange flower from Coronet there. Again, 1937. This is from a book, 1920s. That's just got great King John plate there. And then I wrapped this vintage page around here. And on this side, this is from the 20s, from a children's book. I added antique paper to the back so you could journal on it. This is from a vintage dictionary, and I love, see these little indents? Those would have been the letters in black, so you could flip it to that page. I just love that. And this is from 1955. These are birds on a postcard. People would collect these. And more beautiful children's book pages. And this is from 1932 from the Paris, France Almanac, one of the very few full color plates on there. Elegance. And I just added a little bit of trim on there. And on the other side, we have a vintage New York map. And I just put it in some really cool vintage pieces with blank spots on the back. It's a handwritten research paper, 1896 there. And then another beautiful 1928 needlework book page, another children's. Oh my gosh, this just keeps going and going, doesn't it? My voice is starting to get sore. Another wonderful vintage Costumes of the World page here. And this is from the 50s as well, How to Care for Your Children. This is from the early 1900s, this beautiful front page with that gorgeous pattern. You can do a little journaling card on there. And this is really cool from the 1800s, Carpe Diem. Isn't that fabulous? And then wonderful little poems on all over that. I love that piece. It's almost like tissue. It's so old, delicate. Another, I love this. The bookmobile, little children reading there, growing plants from seeds. This is from the 50s, a really fun magazine page. That is also from the 50s, the Book of Naughty. And this is a great page here from a children's stamp collector's book. I don't often see the children's ones. And these are the stamps that I found in there. They're really cool. So I left them in there. These are all United States postage stamps. Aren't they neat? I love it. And then on this side, this is awesome. It's a whole plate. I was going to make a book cover from it, but like I said, this is a very special journal, so it's going in here. You can see that this is the original paper it was mounted on, and they just put glue on the corners so that you could lift it up if you wanted and frame that. But isn't that beautiful? And that's from the early 1920s. It's absolutely fun, charming, wonderful. And then we have a vintage botanical page, 1950s royal family history page here. And this is from 1927, this wonderful children's clothing page, all the different prices of kids' clothes, 75 cents. Look at that. How beautiful that is. This is a 1932 Paris, France Almanac page here, January 9th and 10th, I believe, or 8th. And then we have another pocket here that I made out of an old postcard backing. And this is a vintage game card. And then these are two little vintage probe cards from the 60s. And they go right in here. And this, oh, this is beautiful. This is from 1911. Isn't that gorgeous? Girls' Own Annual. And it's just this gorgeous set of flowers here. And down here is a 1950s teen magazine, kind of Hollywood show business page there. And then that brings us to the end. I hope you find it as amazing as I do. And if you'd like that, hyperstamper.etsy.com. Don't forget to subscribe and come back soon. Bye for now.